Okay, we are at day 10 and we are at the corkscrew. Now, if you have any back issues, what I would suggest here is actually going and get a real corkscrew, maybe just watching the video with a glass of wine, because this is not an exercise to play with if you have any concerns in your back. It is a hard exercise. I'm going to teach the kind of the modification version first, and I may or may not actually show you the classical variation depending how my body feels today. And that's the lesson I really want you to get out of this, is that not every day everything feels good for us. So we really need to listen. So if you're finding an exercise is putting tension or stress in your body, there's probably either a modification you could make or something else you can do altogether, okay? So the corkscrew is really just a bigger version of the one leg circle. So near the beginning, we brought that one leg up and circled around the body. This exercise is the same, but we bring both legs up. We imagine they're like just duct taped together and we circle. So in the beginner variation, we can work this exercise from a place of hip stability. So keeping the hips level on the ground while we move the legs. Let me tell you, that is a killer low abdominal workout. In the full variation, we actually go through the rollover, but as we roll down, we take our legs either to the left or to the right and roll through in a bit of a circle. So that's where we have to really exercise caution if we don't have experience with the Pilates method. So let's see how this goes today. There's some days I do it, some days I don't. But again, we're going to get to the mat the same way, okay? So we're going to sit up nice and tall. Going to take a breath, exhale, I'm going to roll down. Let me tell you something, and I should have said this about 6 days ago, but if it's easier to reach one leg to help anchor you to come all the way down, that's a great modification, okay? Now, here we are. I'm again going to add this. Typically in an inversion, we don't put anything under our head. I know what my cervical spine is capable of, I guess, so I'm going to put it there. So again, with this exercise, anytime I'm laying down and I'm lifting both legs up, so look at my low spine for a second, this could happen, right? I could really arch. That is not an unsafe position, or not a safe position. So we need to prevent that from happening by using our core. Now, quite honestly, what I've learned is that if we can actually activate our breath properly, we don't need to cue all these individual muscles. But for just a second, amuse me. Take your thumbs onto your bottom rib and then take your fingertips to your hip bones, okay? And imagine running between those two spaces is a pair of suspenders or elastic bands. Now, as you exhale, I want you to very gently bring those 2 points closer. So you're tightening your elastic bands. As you inhale, let them lengthen. Try that a couple more times. Take a breath, exhale, tighten your elastic bands. You're probably going to notice your low lumbar spine move to the floor just a little bit. Those are your oblique abdominals creating an extra level of stability. But there is some evidence that if the obliques overwork, I should say, that they will deactivate your transversus abdominis, and that's your piece of saran wrap. So more importantly, just relax for a second, put your hands on your belly, and I want you to breathe. Just your whole torso. In fact, put a hand kind of up between the chest, one on your belly, and just take a big breath. It expands out, it expands to the side, it expands to the back. Just let it happen. We tend to be in fitness way too rigid. We're holding our muscles all the time and restricting movement versus allowing our breath to fully support us with using the diaphragm, okay? So take another breath, exhale, and do you notice how you get that hollowness anyway? That's your transversus kicking in. We want that to stay active throughout the work. Now, that's active. Let's add those obliques just to give us a little bit of support. So take a breath and tighten your elastic bands. Gently tighten. If you felt jamming, if you felt your low back turn on, you've overactivated some sort of muscle, okay? Now, again, the modification, if you want, you're just going to start here with the legs at 90, okay? Because the part that's the most, I guess, challenging or the most prone to exercise injury is actually lifting the legs off the mat. All right, so we're going to do the corkscrew. So it's very much like the rollover, but we're going to start here. So we're going to inhale, exhale, unweight the legs, Reach them up to 90 degrees. You can have a slight first position turnout. Now, let's warm this up with a tick-tock. Tick, center, tock. Well, look at your feet. Don't let your toes, one toe, move past the other. The toes have to stay together, okay? Otherwise, we're going to have some shearing happen. This is actually the best placeholder to have for this exercise, okay? This is called the tick-tock. Now, make sure your arms are active. You're rooting through your middle back. Now, we're going to take that tick over to one side. We're going to circle slightly down and around. Now, you're listening to your suspenders. Come back to the center. Tick the other way. Do a small circle and come back. So we do this little tiny circle, but we really want to keep grounded through the low back. So I can feel my low abdominals working like crazy. If your back arched off, bend your knees, pull them in. This is not an appropriate exercise for you, okay? Now, let's see. This might not work, but let's see. We're going to try the full exercise. I can't talk to do it. Okay, did you see what happened there? No talking involved. The full exercise, you go through your rollover, you take your legs to that tick-tock position, you roll down that side of your spine, make a circle, and come up through the rollover on the other side of the spine. It is not a safe exercise for everyone. That's my video disclaimer. But honestly, this modified corkscrew, the tick-tock, is a great exercise for everyone. You can even do it with knees bent. There are so many options. I'm a really big proponent of learning how to breathe first to create stability, activating the body, not just one muscle, the whole body, right? To work as one unit. Activate, breathe, control, and you will, anything you do, golf, fishing, okay, shoveling snow. When you work your body in a coordinated effort, beautiful, beautiful things happen. So hopefully you enjoyed that one as much as I did, or not. Maybe you're just drinking the glass of wine like I suggested. Tomorrow we're moving into the saw, and then we're going to start moving into some exercises where we're now laying on our belly. And you will find with the repertoire, we go from our back to our belly to our side. And the idea is to stimulate our spine in all different positions so that literally when we stand up in gravity, we can resist the compressive forces that are put on our body. So excited to see you guys tomorrow.